My name is Renee Magnanti, and I'm very glad to be in this show with other women artists who are doing such interesting and different things, all different techniques, abstract work, realistic work, thick painting, thin painting, and I love the position of the piece next to animals, sea creatures, space, a feeling of space, and spirituality. And I would like to tell you about my piece, which is based on a woman scientist called Jean Villepreux Power. And it's part of a series that I've been working on for about 8 years, looking at women scientists of the past. And I like to look at their stories because I find it very interesting. Jean was born in a small village in France, and she moved to Paris and became a dressmaker and made the wedding gown for the queen, and met an English merchant, James Power, and they were married. And then she had to move to Messina, Sicily, where they were on the sea, and she wanted to reinvent herself. So she started studying sea animals, particularly the paper nautilus, and she also invented the aquarium. And she was self-taught and did very interesting things, and a lot of people don't know about her. So that's why I chose her. And I would like to talk about my technique, which is encaustic painting. And when I started encaustic painting, which was 35 years ago, I painted a very flat surface, and with encaustic painting, which is wax painting that's heated, you put color in the wax, and you can paint. You can paint realistically, you can paint abstractly, you can paint thin, you can paint thickly. And I started to paint in very thin layers, and eventually, over the years, I started to make the layers thicker and thicker. And at a certain point, I thought, well, maybe I could carve into them. And so my carving at first was more rough and abstract, and eventually I got better at the carving and became more detailed with it. And this piece has about 40 different layers of color. Each one is a different color. And then when I can carve and get different colors depending on how far I carve in an area. And if you look at it on the side, you can kind of see some of the layering. And when I first started with encaustic painting, which was around 1990, I made all my own paints because you couldn't really get a really great encaustic paint. You couldn't buy it. You had to learn how to make it yourself. So you would make batches of color, or you would do a single color at a time on a hot plate. You had to make sure you ventilated properly. Now I buy a lot of my colors, but I still make some.